Hey, Russell of Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. Today is Monday. That can only mean one thing. Miss Tiffany English with Velvet Style Marketing is here with me. So hope you guys are doing well. Did I say happy Monday already? Well, happy Monday.
No,
I
mm,
did say that?
Monday.
Okay. Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, Tiffany, how are you today?
I'm great. I am great.
What's
You know
new? What's
what?
going
You
on?
know what? Today, I believe today is the first day of fall. I'm not quite ready.
So what does that mean exactly? Okay, you're not first day of fall, but you're not ready. What does
I'm
that
not
mean?
quite
What do you need to
ready
be
to
ready
let
for?
summer go, but I just, I was just informed that it's fall, y'all.
Oh,
September
okay. So
22nd.
I'm
Um,
sure being in Chicago, I mean, that means something different than what it means out
well,
here,
you know
right?
what? We're still having good weather, so it doesn't seem like fall yet. The temperatures haven't dropped. I'm still wearing my sandals. Somebody was talking about how I like to keep my toes out. I'm like, yeah, I mean, as long as I can. But
Okay. All right. Hey,
it's,
well,
it's
well, well,
fall, it's the end of September, and I feel like, once October hits and that's that fourth quarter, it's downhill from there. It's just going to speedball.
as long as you got your toes out, I guess that's all that matters, right?
I feel like I got another maybe at least another week to
Okay.
show off my
All
pedicure.
right. Okay. Very good. Very
Well,
good.
you don't have to deal with this. You're out in California, so you don't have to prepare yourself for what's to come
You're right. You're
for
right. I
winter.
don't. You're
All
right.
right,
You're right.
all
You're
right.
right. I don't. I don't. You're absolutely right. What's going on? We're supposed to be live on YouTube and LinkedIn. That's why I'm trying
Uh-huh.
to kind of figure out if we are live on both of those platforms.
Okay.
I'm checking right now. So continue to talk. Continue to talk so I can see what's
Oh,
going
oh,
on.
so I'm okay just rambling for once because you like to cut me off.
Yeah. No. 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 You're actually no. This is what I want you to do right now. Go ahead and
Just
ramble. That's your
okay,
thing.
all right.
That's what you're good
Uh,
at. So go ahead and ramble.
okay. All right. Well, yeah. So I did go. I kept it chill this weekend, but I did go to. Funny enough, I went to my first festival of the summer. So Chicago is known in the summer for all the festivals. Every neighborhood has one, and a neighborhood right next to mine, Uptown, they had their first street festival this weekend. So I went to there. I had some good food. I had my first brisket egg rolls, and there was
First
entertainment.
brisket egg roll.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it was good, but it's good.
Well, I don't eat brisket, so
Just
but
I
I
was
mean,
about to say, just take my word for it.
I would think that would be good. I would think that would be good.
Yeah, yeah. So there was a lot of entertainment. It was just nice. The weather was good. Just kind of walking down in the neighborhood, and that's what Chicago's about in the summer. It's just a lot of things to do. And it was a fun time.
Okay,
Fun
okay, very
time.
good, very
So,
good. I don't know. I'm having some issues here, Miss Lady.
aw,
It's
don't say
telling
that.
me that I'm live, and then I'm trying to figure out where am I. If I'm live, where am I? I can't. I don't see myself. I don't see us being live. And
Yeah, it
last
does
week
say
I was
live.
able to
So
see
where does the
that.
live go? Is it on YouTube?
I was looking on YouTube.
Okay.
I mean, on here it tells me I'm live. On, of course, right here says I'm live for 3 minutes, right? But I'm
Oh,
trying
wait.
to
I
see
see us
myself.
live on YouTube.
You do see that?
Yes, you are definitely live on YouTube, or we
Okay.
are,
You
but
want to do
not LinkedIn.
LinkedIn and see? No, not LinkedIn.
Not LinkedIn.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. As long as we live on one of them, that's cool. Okay.
We're live somewhere, even though most
Somewhere.
people don't
So
come
if
back
you're
to
on
the replay.
YouTube, please make sure you make some comments. Say, hey, what's going on? We appreciate it. Sorry for the, maybe not technical difficulties. I think everything is working. It's just that maybe I'm not working today. I don't know. So anyway, you were okay. Let's catch up with you. Okay, so you
Okay.
were in Aruba. Was it 2 weeks ago? And
Yeah.
then last week, this is the thing. I gotta say this. I have to say this. Okay, so
Kill me.
Tiffany and I had this conversation. We like it was a Monday, not last Monday, but the previous Monday, I believe. And we were having a conversation, that she was in Aruba, okay, and she was on her way back. Okay, so she comes back from Aruba,
Sure.
end of the week or whatever. And then I find out later, like the next day, like say that's like Friday or Saturday or something. She said, "Oh my God, I'm on my way to Hawaii. I forgot that I had another trip to Hawaii." First of all, who forgets that they have a trip going to Hawaii?
Okay, in my defense, I knew I was going. I just kind of, forgot the dates. I forgot that they were so back to back and close. I think I had
But
so much other things
we
going on.
talk enough that you would like let me know that this was going on? Like, you would like put this in my head, like, hey, I'm going to destination Hawaii. Also, like months ago, you could have said that, but
Oh
it
no,
never,
no,
it
no.
never came to the conversation.
Oh, Russell, that would mean that I prepared for this months ago. Now you know how I roll. This was pretty late. This was pretty last minute. And what I will say, thankfully, I mean, got a good fare for I think I booked within a couple weeks. Shout out to our travel coordinator, Michelle, a part of North Star, because she always gets me right. And we were able to get that flight under budget. I have no idea how. I did fly Southwest.
Okay.
Didn't realize they went to Hawaii. So
how was that? I mean, Southwest is one of my favorite airlines. How was that? How was that flying to? Oh, I do Delta too. Don't get me wrong. I do Delta as well.
All
but
right. Well, Southwest goes through. They're going to go through so many changes between now and next year. That are they still going to be everyone's favorite because of the changes? For me, luckily, I've been rolling with Southwest, so I actually have A-list status. First time I actually have status, and that gets you I know, and that gets you a free check bag. So I brought the big bag with me to Hawaii.
Wait. They're still. Have they started charging for bags?
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Oh, they've started charging.
Yes.
Okay, see, I haven't flown since they started charging.
They started charging a couple months ago, and then so come January 2026, they're gonna have assigned seating. Now that's when I'm really like, oh man, you're gonna be like every other airline. See, what I like about Southwest as opposed to United, which is a Chicago hub, I get it. But every time I book United, I end up in 38F. No, it doesn't matter when I book my ticket. And, of course, I'm like, no, I don't want to pay to upgrade. So I'm literally like the last row. And so I get on Southwest, with my status. And I like my row 10. So usually I'm row 10 in the window. So, I feel great. But come next year, it all changes because they're going to assign seating. They're going to, charge for upgrades just like every other airline.
Yep.
So,
something.
But you know what? They are growing. Here's the thing with these airlines. I mean, even for people to be like, I'll never fly this airline again. That's probably not true because there's only so many airlines and so many routes that with Southwest, they're growing. So they're going to St. Croix next year. They're, expanding the islands. And I found out in Hawaii, they go to 30 destinations a day. Like 30, or no, they have 30 flights a day. So whether they're going, whatever island they're going to, and then they go to inner islands. So they're actually competing with Hawaiian Airlines. And, from what I hear, because I did have an appointment with Hawaiian Airlines and I told them I flew Southwest, they were not happy. So they are competing with them in that area. But for the most part, the flight was fine. I flew from Chicago Midway to Las Vegas. Literally, when I stepped down, I had maybe an hour on the ground, which gave me enough time to just catch that tram and connect to the next one. And then I flew into Maui. So no real issues. My only thing is pack you some, eat before you get on, pack you some food, buy something at the airport, because all they have are snacks. They don't have that typical buy on board that the other major airlines have. So you will starve if you did not bring anything to eat. So that was my only thing. And what else? You know what? Southwest, I don't know if you ever used their Wi-Fi, but it's hit or miss. It's kind of spotty.
I have. No, well, yeah, just to watch, whatever TV shows on my iPhone,
it's
like that.
It's not the best. So, have your entertainment ready. But Russell, what I will say, and I know you may have a different perspective of Hawaii because you're on the West Coast, but I will say it was much easier flight than I thought, because, when we think of Hawaii, we're like, oh my gosh, 12 hours. But breaking it out, we flew Vegas, maybe 4 or 5 hours. And then from Vegas, it was 6 hours. So honestly,
damn, that's 10 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, but it didn't, you know what? It wasn't bad.
It didn't seem like 10 hours.
Okay. You know what the key is? So
someone that flies all the time would say that.
Right? The key is to get on that plane tired as possible.
Yeah, you went to sleep.
I did not even sleep the night before, which I think.
Well, I guess not. If you just figured out that you were on another flight, you probably stayed up all night to try to get ready.
Oh, absolutely. I packed. Yep. I think I had a 4 a.m. Uber, and I think my flight was at 6. So yeah, just stay up all night. That's all. Okay.
Well, hey, those are great. That's great travel tips from Tiffany. Just stay up all night.
I've been telling everybody that hack.
Oh my God. Okay. So now, you flew Southwest Airlines, which was great. Okay. No problems there. You get to Maui. Okay. So, this is your first time in Hawaii, right? Correct.
First time ever. And, I let everybody know. I was like, in case you can't tell, this is my first time. Flew into Maui. So Destination Hawaii was in Maui. And what I will say is just as part of the event, I got a real great education about, the different islands, the 4 main islands. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't know much about any of them except for Oahu. I knew Oahu had Diamond Head, and I knew they had Waikiki Beach, but that's all I knew from Hawaii. So to go to Maui and just feel not as busy as what I heard, it to be. Mm-hmm. The destination itself was great, but where we stayed was just fabulous.
Okay. And where'd you stay?
So the Wailea Resort, which is.
Let me just say, hold on. Am I have to start pulling stuff out of you, or can you just tell me?
I'm waiting for you.
Where did you? Okay.
I'm waiting for you to ask me. So I stayed at the Wailea Resort, which is a Marriott property.
Okay.
And right there on Wailea Beach. So it's basically a strip of hotels that are on the higher end and luxury market. So you had the Wailea, you had the Waldorf, you had the Ritz, all of this strip. You had the Four Seasons. They're all on the same side of Wailea Beach. But what I will say about it is the service is just phenomenal. I'm talking about, even the staff remembering your name as they see you on the property. They were like, "Hi, Miss English." And I was like, well, no, they were saying aloha. So I said aloha about 50 different times a day, because every time they saw you, they would say aloha. It didn't matter where you were. And you would say it along the way. So you would walk from your room to maybe the pool, and maybe you would see 5 staff members, and everyone, aloha, aloha, aloha. So, it started to be like natural, language. And not only that, it would just kind of light you up. That kindness was just so contagious. So you're in this element of leaving whatever you had behind, whether it's work or stress, whatever, to this more of an environment where it was just this island life, but definitely different. Hawaii is definitely completely different than any Caribbean island.
Yeah.
But they still have that island vibe where they're just, more laid back and slower pace. Okay. But it's something about Hawaii that makes you want to take a breath and relax. So a little bit more wellness involved, even if it was subconsciously.
Relax.
Yeah, right? Breathe in, breathe out.
Okay. Okay.
They had yoga every morning. I would watch them outside my balcony because
I didn't. You didn't participate.
I didn't get up in time.
Of course not. When do you ever?
Well, you know what? Okay, Russell, I'm lying, because every day I was there, I was up at like 5, 6 in the morning. So that jet lag and time change was real. So I was up, just kind of getting acclimated, but
not at yoga. You were up, but not at yoga.
Nah, I was up leisurely drinking my coffee on the balcony, Okay. Well, that only lasted a day, because I did come in the day before the event. So you can't do that during the event, because you got to be up and ready for breakfast.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Breakfast was at 7:30 again?
Yeah, you already know.
Good.
No,
Good.
you know what? It might have been 7:15. I think I got there about 7:45. Because as long as you're there between the breakfast window, I don't need to be there when it starts.
Let's just make sure, just for
Window.
people out there, we don't want to set any bad examples. If it says it starts at 7:30,
All right.
that means you need to be there before 7:30.
All right.
Okay.
I was there at 7:30.
Okay. All right. Let's just say that. Okay. So you enjoyed, just the first day, you kind of relaxed or whatever. But knowing that you had an event to go to, a group event.
Sure.
Now, I would assume that, if you're coming there individually versus coming there for a group, there's two different things, right?
Sure.
So how did you experience it as just a single solo traveler versus as a group, someone that was with a group?
Well, so when I did check in, my room wasn't quite ready.
That seemed like the norm for you. When you get to any hotel, it's never ready for you.
No. I've been getting spoiled because remember I went to Toledo and got my room at like 8 a.m. So of course now I'm accustomed to feeling like I should get my room when I show up. But
okay.
And I got there, Russell. I think like my flight landed around 2ish. So I think I got to the property about 3. So I was surprised that it wasn't ready. But my the person checking me in, she says, "Oh, it's worth the wait." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I mean, of course, they probably have to say that." Well, what I will say is they have a lounge room, a lounge area, which I didn't understand it until I left. But basically, if you check in, your room's not ready, they allow you to kind of change and get relaxed and go straight to the pool and enjoy the resort. So they have lockers, like a little locker room area. They have a men's and women's shower. So you can basically change clothes, put in your swimsuit, and just go to the beach. And then, put your bag with the bellhop and just enjoy. And I thought that was a really good concept. So something like that, I believe, was added on for our group. Okay. But I will say, I felt like I was treated the same, whether I was part of the group or not. I feel like their culture of the hotel, greeting everyone, giving them directions. I remember when I first got there, when my room was ready, I asked someone for directions because, of course, I didn't hear what they said. And she walked me to my room. Now, what I will say is that particular resort has a lot of stairs. So my room did not have an elevator. It was up 3 flights of stairs.
What?
Well, honestly, I didn't mind that. But with my suitcase, I was like, oh, man. So the person giving me directions just said, hey, I got your bags, just go up. And I just thought that was nice because, it was just somebody that I had asked for directions. So it wasn't the bellhop. It wasn't someone that, was accustomed to doing that. But
just a random person took your bags up 3 flights of stairs?
One of the staff members. Yeah, she was walking around. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
There's no elevator at this hotel.
Oh no, there's elevators, but where my room was, so I had a partial ocean view, and where that room was, they were all closer to the beach. So those particular nice rooms they did not have an elevator. So the highest floor was 3. So what I will say is, like, checking in groups if people have any accessibility needs, they would need to be, on the ground level. That's and making sure you had that information, or just not even going to that tower. Okay. I mean, I guess it's not at a tower, but like that little area.
Well, that's something that needs to be, as a someone doing a meeting, someone that's facilitating that meeting, they should know ahead of time if it's accessible versus non-accessible.
Yeah, 100%. But I will say they did have a lot of stairs. The stairs were the quickest way to get around, but they did have some ramps. You just had to know where to maneuver. So I did notice that.
Is there enough signage around saying this? Okay, I'm just asking. Okay, I'm just asking. Now, see, the difference between the Caribbean, which is another country, and Hawaii, which is just another state in the U.S. Okay. I mean, there has to be accessibility. There should.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So those are things. Those are, I don't say red flags, but those are things that we need to let our groups know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Now I will say the meeting rooms were all on the ground level. They were off to the lobby area, which I love because you couldn't miss them. You couldn't get lost. They were right there where you came in. And they were all together. So I did appreciate that. But yeah, definitely kind of, making sure that your accessibility needs are met.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, beautiful property. And then, just minutes to the beach. So they had minutes to the beach. You walk right down, maybe less than 5 minutes. But they did have these extensive pool areas. They had an adults pool. They had a regular pool. And then they had this water slide pool. And interesting enough, they say that's where the kids end up, which you don't see them past that point. So I think it was just a smart idea to, they're still family friendly. But when you have groups that are worried about too many kids running around, that was a great deterrent where a lot of the kids are going to be at this water park. So, people concerned about their programs and the hotel. I will say that I was very surprised about how much I like the Wailea Resort because I feel like it hit just about every group. So whether it's a group, whether it's incentive, whether it's social, a girls group, and then even, you had people that were on their honeymoon. I just think the way it was set up, there's something in it for everybody where you don't feel like you're, like an outsider. Some of these resorts, like, for instance, maybe like a Sandals where it's couples only. So you kind of feel like, oh, I can't put in a group here. It's kind of too coupley. You didn't feel that there.
Okay. Very good. The Wailea, is that what it's called? Wailea?
Wailea, yeah.
Wailea.
I was calling it, yeah, but it's spelled Wailea. Because I was saying Wailea or something. So Wailea. I had to get the right pronunciation, but yeah.
Wailea. Okay, we're on today. This is Daily Check-In with Russell of Hotels and Tiffany. Every Monday I'm devoted to having Tiffany on here, talk about her experiences. And just so happened she was just in Hawaii for the first time last week. A show that she knew that she had scheduled to go, but she had kind of forgot about. So this is all kind of a surprise to me that she even went to Hawaii, because I'm like, wait a minute. You just came back from Aruba and you didn't mention anything about Hawaii. Well, she said, oh, I guess you got a notification like your flight, 24 hours before your flight. And she's like, oh my God, I'm going to Hawaii. Oh my God. So I guess that's the life of a meeting planner. I don't know, a meeting planner that has so much on his or her plate that they kind of tend to forget. So so based on, because you said that Wailea Resort basically hit everything, hit like all the potential groups. So you could see yourself bringing a group to this particular hotel?
100%. And, talking with the director of sales and their team. We're in talks now about that. What I will say, because I'm allowed, it's a secret, but I'm allowed to tell. I got permission to say this. Well, I don't know if you remember the fires in Maui a couple of years ago that did a lot of damage. So, they've been strongly rebuilding in the last couple of years, but because of that, their books of business starting in 2026 is very light. So they're very motivated to get groups in. And if 2026 is the year, you can make it work. So to your point about, can I see a group there? I'm trying to see if I can get my group in there for 2026, because they're going to get the best. And this is a conversation that was told to me about, this will be the absolute best year if you're looking for, if you have some pricing concerns. And then, just as flexibility as well, as far as what kind of concessions we can get and things like that. And, that lights me up, because now I'm here going to send about 30 concessions and be like, we want this and we want upgrades and we want that, and see what we get, because they've already said that they're very motivated to get groups in by any means necessary. So that's great news to a planner.
Yes. Now, what about the price? Now, I mean, not to specific price because I'm sure it's based on dates and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But did you find it just based on what you know about the rates there? Are they competitive with what's going on here on the mainland, or did you look at them as being expensive, or like compared to the Caribbean, since you just came back from the Caribbean?
Yeah, so Hawaii in general and that resort, you're gonna pay more in Hawaii. But for what I notice is the dates matter. Because in Maui and then most of the islands they have whale season. So the whales come in during the winter. So about November-ish to March is their high season. And when you see, I mean, those rates are just out of control. But if you are flexible in dates, they tend to be a little bit more comparable to other Caribbean islands.
Okay.
But on a higher end. And then Wailea property, I mean, it's not your budget property. There are a few others that are a little bit lower tier. And we're talking about, and I'll just say this, because I looked at my room. My room was beautiful, had a balcony, and you could see directly to the ocean. And when I looked up the room for that day, it was like $900 a night. So, but at the same time, when you're doing a search and calendar, I've seen some, rooms $500-600 a night. So I feel like that's in line with some of the hotels we saw in Aruba. The Ritz was around that price as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it really does depend on that program. What I will see for Hawaii is it's a great market for incentives. If you want people to be wowed, especially the ones that are well-traveled, been there, done that, they've done the Caribbean, they're like, oh yeah, Mexico, and you want just that impeccable service, it's really good for incentive program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now what about your culinary experiences?
So I enjoyed the food. I ate at the resort before the event started. Now, pricing wise, it did hurt. It hurt my pocketbook because I had to pay for the food myself. I was like, oh, this hurts.
So it's not a resort that everything was included?
No, not in
Okay,
Hawaii.
I'm just
Not in
asking.
Hawaii.
I'm just asking.
But what I did notice and what I did take back with me is how, the actual event, Destination Hawaii, how every meal was displayed beautifully, and I mean, I've done a lot of dinners, you've done hotels, like you get the basic buffet setup. I mean, they're pretty typical. This one was elaborate. I mean, we're talking about the cuts of the pineapple that were, displayed in different animal forms and the fresh fruits and everything, the decor was just with the theme of Hawaii, but it was beautiful. And I feel like that's another reason why I think it's great for an incentive program or a program that you're trying to wow people, because they're not seeing this other places. It's very exclusive to Hawaii, and they put so much local flair into it.
Okay.
The pineapples taste different than they would, anywhere else. A lot of things were infused with coconut. They really tried to be definitely creative. It wasn't just, a meat tray or, just veggies. It was a lot of just immaculate food. And I really like that. I really think something like that, really digging into the culture and the local scene is important because, who comes all to Hawaii to eat chicken nuggets or chicken that they can get anywhere else, so.
Chicken nuggets.
Not chicken nuggets, but I'm just saying.
Well, you said it. You said chicken nuggets. I understand. Okay, so what was the theme? And what I mean by that, was there a lot of, and we're still in the culinary part, was there a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, a lot of beef, pork? I mean, what was the...
Interesting enough, I ate a lot of beef. I had some Wagyu that was delicious. There were like skewers. There was a lot of beef. There was like short ribs and things like that. But they had more of a Hawaiian flair to it. So they did a lot of like a mango salsa on top, or some pico. So a lot of things were infused. So there was a lot of sweetness, because imagine Hawaii with the fruits and things like that. But I ate a lot. I ate a lot of beef that I think by the end I was like, okay, what else are we gonna have? And then I end up getting fish. So I had like mahi mahi, and then their local fish was good too. I think it was munchon. Are you familiar? Okay.
You tell me. You were there. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I just thought it had a cool name to it. So they did have some fish.
Okay, what about me? What about for me? Would I have been disappointed, or would I have been satisfied with the food? With the choice that I would have to make?
They definitely had their vegan options. They had, so interesting enough, and mind you, it was more about me and what could I eat. But I apologize.
Yeah, we know. I'm just asking for everyone with different palates. Thank you, Tiffany.
What I will say is everything was labeled, so that planner pet peeve where things aren't labeled. I think that's just weird. Everything was labeled. I did remember them having like a vegetable stir fry. I did remember things labeled as vegan, vegan and vegetarian, or because I know there's a difference. I know. They also had vegan desserts, like treats too. So
what?
Well, and I'm just saying everything was labeled too. So I was like, oh, vegan, bye. But yes.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Well, you know what, Russell? And it's funny that you bring that up, because it's one thing to check the box for someone that's vegetarian or vegan, and it's another to like give them a great option, like you're actually enjoying your food. You're not just eating celery sticks or something. So
it has to come with being creative, some creativeness on the food. I mean, it has to be good, but it has to be visually appealing as well, even before you even taste it, right? It has to be something like, oh my God, this looks good. Let me try it.
Right.
Yeah. Because anybody can throw anything together. Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've learned over the years is that because I do have this vegan lifestyle, if you will, at least when it comes to food, I can tell instantly if it's something that's been just thrown together, or something they really had a lot of thought behind. So that's why I always ask just people that don't eat like that, what's the presentation like? What did it look like? Did it look visually appealing? You may not have tasted it, but did it even look visually appealing?
Everything was beautiful. And and it wasn't just buffet, because when you think of buffet, you would do it really good or just a flop, right? So the buffet was more like stations. So it had a nice little flow to it. You had, your little appetizers, and you had a whole table full of interesting fruits. Like I had, what is it? That dragon fruit for the first time. I'm not a fan, but but it was, it was displayed beautifully, and then it was plated beautifully. But everything was kind of stationed. They had the beef, on the end, and I like how it wasn't just like one lunch line flow. You know what I mean? You can kind of peruse little stations of where to go and what to eat. But yeah, again, and then, that was part of the event, but, even our opening reception, which was outside, that's another thing that I'm starting to notice. Not every hotel does outside events great, but they get it. It was, the decor was beautiful. It was right off the ocean where you see the sunset as you're eating. It was really done where it was pleasant to be outside. Sometimes you're outside and you're just like, no, it's too hot.
This is not working. Yes.
Yeah. What I will say is, I would have liked if they had, and this is to any hotel, give us suggestions on how we can customize this experience. Because, a lot of times we have to come with questions and they'll say yes or no. But if you offer suggestions, and one example is they had this person come out to do a custom sandcastle. So she kind of made a sandcastle into the, and it said Aloha.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this really cool, like visual. You can take pictures and, you know, spend all day on it. And I made a point about saying how, you know, great this is. I'm going to take a picture. And one of the team members said, oh, we can use anyone's logo and we can put a logo into this, or we can do a different message, or we can do this. And I'm like, I never would have known that. So I just think, you know, you as the hotel, you're the best representative of, you know, what you can show us, how we can be creative, especially if we tell you, hey, we're trying to do something better than we did last year. Or, hey, we have to stay competitive. Give us suggestions from your point of view of your hotel, because we don't know sometimes, true. Right?
That's
but
true.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. What I will say also is that I miss going to a luau. We did not do a luau for this trip. So
wow.
Yeah. We had a lot of sites. We had a ton of site visits.
So you didn't do a traditional luau?
I did not.
Okay. Now, was there an option? You just chose not to? You went to take a nap? What was
no, so I think the hotel itself didn't do it every day. I think they did it 3 times a week. And so the day that we could have done it, man, Russell, when I tell you we were out on these sites, so we started our site visits. You know how you have that break and then you'll start. We started at 3:00. We got on the shuttle. So basically after lunch they were like, you know, wear your clothes, what you're going to wear to the to the reception, to the dinner, because it took maybe a good 45 minutes to go to the other side of the island. And we proceeded to do a progressive dinner, but it was sites. So we would go to the Sheraton, the Westin, and have, you know, a few cocktails. Well, one cocktail, right? One cocktail and apps. We also go to the Hyatt, you know, and I think we had dessert at the Hyatt. So I thought that was great. It was a lot. It was a long day. I think we ended up getting back to our main hotel about 10 p.m. So that's why I couldn't go to the luau. We weren't there for it.
Okay, I got you. So okay, just real quick, what other hotels did you see?
Okay, so like I said,
the Sheraton. You said the Sheraton.
Yeah, we did the Sheraton. So the Sheraton, and
these are all Maui, right? We're talking about
and from what I understand, all hotels have on that side have all been recently renovated. So they're all kind of in line and being competitive, which is good. So I did see, you know, the Sheraton and the Westin. I think I did like the Westin a little bit more. The Westin has a club rooms where they have access to you know, club amenities, drinks and food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that can kind of offset a little bit of, you know, your food costs. But those are, I believe they're more of a $300 upgrade to whatever that base fare is. So you have to, you know, evaluate if that's worth it to your guests, because there's only a certain amount of club level rooms. So I like that. That was in the Westin. Like I said, we did go to the Hyatt Regency, and they, I believe, are the home where the penguins are. So you can see these in-home penguins, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Penguins, okay.
Yeah, resident. All right, let me say resident penguins, and they're pretty old. I think their oldest one is about been there 30 years. So they do a little show and, you know, all that. And I thought that was cool. The Hyatt itself, it's the layout is atrium style. It reminds me of like an old embassy. So, you know, just knowing that, I mean, you do have your views on the outside, but, you know, you have that atrium, and, you know, that's a preference. Some people don't like that. I'm one of them. I don't really particularly like to walk in my room and it's.
Yeah, I could tell that just right away after you said that. Yes.
Oh, yeah. But like I said, you know, those are, you know, different preferences. And then what else? Where else did we go? We did go to the Waldorf Astoria, which is the Hilton property. I think I forgot that it was a Hilton property. And then we also stayed at the, It's an Acor property. It's not the Sofitel. What is the other one? Oh, now I have to look it up. They have beautiful 2-bedroom, really, really nice. Oh God, what is it? Is it the Pendry? Is it the Pendry? Are you familiar with Acor brands?
Accor? 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 Yeah, I'm familiar with Accor.
I can't say Acor.
They have the Sofitel. I know that one. I'm not sure if Pendry is part of that.
All right, now I need to know.
But it could be. I'm not sure. But I know Pendry because there's a couple of Pendry property, or there's one here in Los Angeles, and I've been to another one somewhere else. But yeah, okay. So
really nice properties.
Yes.
But what I will say, Maui in general, I think is just an ideal island for groups as well as retreats, especially if you want more of that laid back, but you still want to feel like you're in Hawaii. And you know what? And I'm just projecting because I have not been to Oahu. So this is just my opinion of what I hear from Oahu being more of a busier city.
You're right. It is.
When I was in Maui, I just instantly start relaxing. Like I just,
instantly. Just as soon as you got the plane, you just like
no, not the plane, but like to the resort. Really great for wellness, so yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get any of that hustle and bustle. So it's really great if you just need that downtime and kind of get away, especially people coming from cities. And that's why we review all of our programs and always say that there is a venue for each program, because we have to know, okay, what do we want them to feel? What's the environment? Are they coming to relax? Are they coming from a city that they're just being, they're just stressed out and need to really, so those are important.
Exactly.
We ask all those questions. We don't come to these properties lightly. We don't say, you know what, I'll just pick this Hilton. It's almost like that's why those, site visits are so important, because you need to know how you feel, how is your client going to feel when they get there. So
correct.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so real quick, what are takeaways? What would you say your 3 takeaways of going to Maui for your group? Now,
I think I just said it.
From a group perspective. Would you say it already? Is that it? Okay.
Well, I think I told you about the wellness and the stress. Oh, but can I mention this, Russell? And I thought, so this is going to stick with me for a long time. I didn't mention this, but I'll do it really quick. After the event, some of us did a post-fam. My post-fam was Maui. I mean, for Kauai. So from Maui to Kauai. Okay. But what I will say is that was a flight, a group travel flight. So shout out to Hawaiian Airlines. My first time flying them. I hope I get to fly them to other destinations. But they have a group travel option, which we all showed up to the airport with our luggage and went through one line. I mean, and our bags were checked in, I don't know, less than 5 minutes for our entire group. We all had our seats together, went straight through security, really quickly. And then our bags came out in baggage first. They had a sticker that said group travel. So I say that to say, if you're thinking about doing an inter-island, trip, or you want to combine 2 islands and doing a group travel with Hawaiian Airlines, it was very impressive. I don't think I've ever been on an airline that just did group travel just that seamless.
Okay.
So that was a great takeaway, knowing that that's an option. Knowing that if we want to do Maui and Kauai, we want to spend a week in Hawaii, but we want to, do another island. And what I will say is, we did 2 flights. We went Maui to Honolulu, Honolulu to Kauai. And it was still less than 2 hours between that flight and getting to the hotel. So it wasn't, that time consuming, because I think another people are like, oh, I don't want to waste a day going to another island. And I'm like, no, it was seamless. So I will say that that's a great takeaway, knowing that they have that option. Maui being a really great relaxation wellness destination. And then what else? Just like anywhere else, I mean, the hotel matters. I think me personally, if I'm going to do Hawaii, just personal or, doing a trip, I'm going to understand that it is a higher budget to have that experience. And what I would say about that is I would not choose an Airbnb going to Hawaii. I would want to go to a hotel where you get that experience, where they're giving you that service, where they're smiling at you, where they're asking you, how can we help, where they're remembering your name. And so you're going to take that back home with you just because you feel good. And I just don't think you'll get that experience if you don't, just, I guess, invest in that elevated experience. Don't do it cheap. That's all I'm saying. That's really bottom line. Don't do Hawaii cheaply. Don't try to do budget and go into Airbnb. It's not going to be that same experience in Hawaii.
I love it. There you go. All right. Well, then there you go. We you covered everything on your trip. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Did I answer all your questions? Because
Well, yeah. We try to keep this, under 50 minutes. That way we want to keep people engaged. Hopefully we have. But no, this was good though. This was good. Good to hear about your first. It's not often you come across someone who's never been to Hawaii before. So
well, okay. I think. Hold on. I think it's because of you where you live. And it's so funny too, because half the group that was there, from people in California, they're like, of course I've been to Hawaii. I've been like so many times. But then people that were Midwest or East, a lot of them, it was their first time. So it's really interesting that you would say that. Because I think even, being in Chicago, I'm like, 4 hours to the Caribbean or 12 hours. And it's always stuck with me.
I'm just thinking because you travel a lot. You've traveled a lot in life. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Has nothing to do with where you are. I've been to the Caribbean more than I've been in Hawaii. Okay, and I live on the West Coast. Okay. So to me, I prefer the Caribbean. I don't, Hawaii is fine. It was fine a couple times that I was there, but
yeah,
if it was just for me personally, no, I'm going to the Caribbean. Now, if it's for a group, then I can't control where my groups want to go.
Sure.
So I'm gonna do whatever I need to do in for Hawaii. So, but Hawaii, no, it's a good destination. I just when I was in Hawaii, the last time I was there, it had nothing to do with group. I was not doing what I'm doing now. Yeah. So it was a little different. So it was just there myself or family or whatever. So it's quite different if you're going there just for an individual or just two people or a family than versus a group. You know what I mean? So yeah, we look for different things and all that stuff. So that's why.
Well, another thing too is what I've noticed, just versus the Caribbean, there are certain Caribbean locations that can't handle certain groups. Like maybe they're just too big or overwhelmed, or the DMC is just not as strong. Mm-hmm. So I will say that I'm confident in any DMC in Hawaii. They just get it. They get that elevated service. They get what they need. They're on top of it before you ask. Mm-hmm. So I will say that, there's certain Caribbean locations that are kind of still up and coming as far as groups and events. In Hawaii, you would not have to worry about it because they've been doing this.
Okay. See that's a good takeaway right there. Because if you're on the fence between going to the Caribbean versus going to Hawaii, both island locations, right? But the intricate details of a DMC that gets it versus one that they may get it, they may not. You know what I mean? And if it's based on the success or failure of that particular event or that meeting, you're gonna go. You're gonna go where they have more experience. So no, that makes sense. I like that. See, that's a takeaway. Boom.
They're handed to you. There you go.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, finally we got something. We're getting somewhere here.
All right. All right.
So what's the next trip? What's the next trip?
Well, can you believe that October is next week? So we're getting into IMAX. We're getting into my the biggest trade show in the event industry, right?
Yeah.
It is. So that's the next trip. I will be in Vegas for a week.
Who wants to be in Vegas for a week?
I love Vegas.
Okay, good. Okay. Real quick, now I'm gonna turn this on me. Did you get me into the fam?
No.
Well, when were you going to tell me?
You said you were coming in Monday, so I left it alone. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's over by then.
Tiffany, like she has so much pull with these fam trips. She says, "Hey, I'm doing a fam. It goes Saturday and Sunday. What day am I coming in?" I said, "Well, I'm coming in on Monday because I wasn't going to a fam." But I said, "Hey, get me on the list. Can you get me on the list?" Oh, I'll see. Well, now I'm finding out 3-4 days later that I'm not on no list to go to a fam, which is fine. That's fine.
See you Monday.
3 days in Vegas is plenty. Okay, it's plenty for me. That's kind of too much. That's
come on, the latest and the greatest. What's going on? And did you finish your appointments? That's the biggest thing.
I haven't set up any appointments.
Oh, what? All right.
I'm just gonna go and walk the floor and just stop people and stop and talk to people.
Oh, okay. So yeah, tell the good people because you're not being hosted, so you get to do what you want.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I decided. Now this was on my own. I decided. I was invited at least to three different whatever.
You rejected everybody.
3 hotels that wanted to host me, but I basically want to do it on my own just so I can, see more. I'm not relegated to any schedules or anything like that. I wanted to come and go as I please, if you will, see who I wanted to see, and I do want to see people. It's just that. I'm gonna set some appointments, maybe 2 a day. Okay, that's 6 maybe. Some of these. Well, if you're hosted, you have to do like 6 to 9, 6 to 8 a day. I don't want to do that.
You definitely have to do 6 a day. So I did set my 6. Just so
which is fine if that's what you want to do, and that's I'm not knocking anybody because I've done it for years. Okay, but this year I don't want to do that. So
I hear you.
I want to take back my time. I want to take control of my time.
I hear you. My first year, I wasn't hosted. I didn't even know what was going on, so I just showed up. So
yeah, and you'll see the pros and cons of both.
Yeah,
I mean, it all works. It all works as long as you're there, as long as you do what's good for you and your clients or your company. I guess that's really all that matters. I mean, there's people that I want to see internationally as well as domestically. But I'll find those people, right? I mean, because it has a huge footprint. I mean, it's huge. It's that's all I can say. And I'm gonna be, taking photos and videos and all that stuff to kind of share. I'm gonna be doing some live stuff there.
You have a T-shirt. Do you have a Russell of Hotels T-shirt? That's what you need. Do you have one or no?
Yeah, I probably do. Yeah.
You'll wear it because I remember last year and everybody was like, "Oh, Russell Hotel!" Like they were chanting your brand. I was like, "Oh, look at that! Look at that brand recognition." Might as well get you a T-shirt.
Yeah. Okay, Tiffany.
Okay, you know what? Fine. Don't worry.
Tiffany. Okay, Tiffany. That sounds good.
About branding and this and that. So
jolly good, Tiffany. Of course, Tiffany. Of course.
Okay. Fine.
So anyway, all right. So the next trip, you will be at IMAX. Okay, so I'll see you there.
You will.
But nothing in between now and then, right?
Well, that's next week. Well, what are we? About a week and a half. So no, I'm going to enjoy my time at home.
Oh, I gotta check and make sure my reservation is tight. Is right. It's tight and it's right.
Well, I'm coming in the 3rd, so I literally have a week and a half.
Okay, you got plenty of time then. I just printed out my badge just now. I just got that. It's time.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, printed that out. Actually, I even printed in color too. So
what happens if you don't print it out? You don't get a badge.
You have you're required to print it out.
Oh man.
Yeah, so no, you have to do that. Hello.
You know what? I'm gonna run a checklist by you before I show up, so I'll make sure I don't.
Don't get there and then get embarrassed at the door, there, young lady.
I don't have a badge.
We don't need that.
Oh gosh, but yeah.
All right. Well, then
I'm excited. Vegas should be good.
Yeah, no, it should be cool. Okay. I mean, You know, it's Vegas is Vegas.
That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, IMAX, why is it so important? Because any destination that is worth going to, I feel like is there. If you're not there, then how are we supposed to know? How is that top of mind? I feel like if you are looking at, group business, meeting, conferences, you show up to IMAX. That's why it's so big.
Okay. Yeah.
Every destination you can imagine. And we're talking about, domestic and international. Every destination imaginable for your conference and events shows up at IMAX.
Yeah. Every country is represented there.
We side eye you if you're not there. Like, what do you mean you're not being it? You mean you're not IMAX? So
you can be there and people not even know you're there though. It's so many. It's so big. It's so big. It's so big.
You can't meet everybody, but it's a good time. It'll be fun.
Definitely good time. The drinks will be flowing on the floor. Food will be going on too. So
now it's bad when it's too much drinks where you have to be like, I'm done. No.
Yeah, and it's not even noon yet, huh?
So even in the morning, we should, we should do some live read, because I don't think people really understand the impact of IMAX that doesn't go. But even in the morning, you walk in the trade floor and they have wine for you, and you're like, it's 9 a.m. For me, because I'm not getting earlier than that. But it's 9 a.m. Why do we? And they're like mimosa, an excuse for drinking because it's a mimosa. But yeah, it's a lot of entertaining that goes on the show floor.
And you'll get invited to other places, like say, the lunch or dinners or whatever. If you haven't already.
I will say, okay, I'm looking at y'all, suppliers, hoteliers. Everybody will sit there and invite you to dinner. But you know what the openings are? Lunch. We need some lunch invites because, they have lunch on the trade show floor. It's a huge line. You still have to pay for food. So if you want to really cut into the competition, do some of those lunch invites. Because everyone's doing a dinner.
Number one. Tiffany wants to be the first one on that list, just in case you haven't figured that out. So
look, I got plenty of dinner happy hours, but my lunch calendar is a little empty right now. So
I got you.
Unless you're taking me to lunch. Are we going to lunch?
Let's get there first. Let's get there first and see.
Okay, so that's a no.
Let's get there first. And
that's a no.
Yeah, probably right.
All right.
Probably right. But we gotta eat. I gotta eat, right? And I can't go. See, when you're hosted, you can go to the hosted buyer lounge.
Oh,
and they have food there. They have snacks. They have all kinds of stuff.
Thanks for reminding me.
Drinks, everything. See, so that's one thing that I'm gonna miss out on. And they gonna let you in if you don't have hosted buyer on your thing. There's like a guard. There's like an armed guard out there. They'll kick you.
That is one of the reasons I became hosted. Because my first year I wasn't, and I tried to go in, and they were like, no. And I felt, I had that FOMO that I was missing out. So I was like, no.
Now it's good. It's good because they have places you can charge your phone. Comfortably. Exactly. They have. You can lounge. There's chairs. There's tables. There's all kind of things in there. So it's definitely worth it to be that, but it's just about your time. What I mean? And that for me, it was about my time this time. So there you go. So anyway, that's it. Okay. So sorry this took a little longer. Normally I try to get this thing under 45 minutes. Now we're close to an hour because Tiffany's long-winded and she doesn't understand the importance of minimizing a conversation, putting some points out there, some bullet points instead of the whole damn story. Okay. But hey, that's Tiffany for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are people in Chicago. They just love to talk for whatever reason. I
give you all the details.
So anyway, but no, thank you so much for sharing your details. Are we doing this next Monday?
We are.
All right. So once again, this is a daily check-in with Russell of Hotels and guest Miss Tiffany English. She comes on every Monday at 10 o'clock. Okay. So 10 o'clock a.m. California time. Okay. So she's in Chicago. I'm in LA. So there you go. And we just discuss things that, a meeting planner or hotel site selection person would go through when we're, looking at hotels, doing site tours, attending these conferences and things like that. So that's what we talk about. We devote this to that. Okay. So that's it. So next time we'll see each other, we'll be at IMAX, which is in Las Vegas. And there you go. That's it. So until next time, you guys have a great week. great day. And remember, tomorrow on air with Russell of Hotels That Live Hospitality Talk Show that everyone's talking about. That's my show. Said it comes on. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's 3:14. So tomorrow is show number 3:14. That comes in at 1:00 California time. So in time and until I don't know what I'm saying, but until tomorrow at 1:00 PST, I'm out.
Out. Peace out.